Hello boys, if you downloaded the starter code from the GitHub link and you launch it, you'll see a code like this over here. So we'll have the lib folder and some files here, and this is our main file right now where we are. And if you run it, you'll see an empty white screen like this, and also you might get some error like this over here. So don't worry, we'll fix them very soon. This error is intentional though. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is the first thing, and you run it, you will say this thing. But now take a look at this class here, which is sphere ball. Now this is the class over here, this one. Okay. All right, I might have a spelling error though, so but you can ignore it. Now over here I have this stack widget. So here within stack widget I have children, and as you see they are commented out. So now let's go ahead and first this part of this code, let's go ahead and run it. Okay, and now let's remove this star. Okay, so now this class, which is this one, sphere ball, a sphere ball, is being called from here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run it and see the result. Okay, so it might take a few minutes to a moment, sorry. All right, yeah, well, it's there but nothing is visible yet. Now let's see why. So these are sphere ball class, and it's called another class which is called sphere density. Okay, so sphere density is this class over here. Okay, now here I have this option color black, so let's unlock it and see the result. So now this is the black circle we have. Okay, and once again let me walk you through what's happening here. So this is the sphere ball in our main class. Okay, and from here the class we are calling is this one, or Dart class. And over here I have the stack widget. I'll tell you why I have stack widget. And within stack widget I'm calling another class, and I'm passing two parameters. One is light source, and there is size dot shortest side, and they're over here. Okay, so we accept them over here, and then we build a container or widget using this. Okay, and then we see the black circle. Okay, because the color is black. But now what is this diameter property or the parameter over here, and what is this light source? So now the first diameter is actually coming from the size from our screen width, pretty much like that, which is called shortest side. Okay, so you can take a more look at this one and you'll get more idea, but it's not exactly the complete radius or length from here to here. It skips a little bit. Okay, so it gives you a length from here to there like this. Okay, and what else? Now this is the light source, so we are passing light source over here. A light source is within offset class, I would say, and this is x and this is y, and I'll tell you why this is minus. Okay, so now let's get a look at sphere density now. Sphere density over here right now, as you see, the color is black, and here I have also commented out gradient. So let's unlock it and see what's happening there. And now also I'll not use color black, and I think yeah, we don't need to use color black. Now let's run it and see what happens. Okay, perfect. So as you see over here, so now I have this gradient color instead of just color. So if I use color, it's completely black, but once I have this gradient color, so partly it is gradient, partly it is gray, and partly it is black over here, as you can see. But now if I turn off this one center, now let's see what happens over here. Okay, now it's completely in the middle. Okay, so what happens here, this radial gradient, it starts from middle, and the starting color is gray. So starts from gray and slowly ends at the end as a black. Okay, now with this property center, which takes alignment class widget, and we are passing parameters light source. Okay, from where? From here, sphere ball, and over here we see that it has two values. One is 0, and that is minus 7.5. So what it does is 0 is the x coordinate over here, this one, this center, and minus 75 is it goes up. Okay, so but now because just now we turned it off, and now let's run it one more time. Because it's minus, it will go up. Okay, now it went up. So actually in Flutter there is no lightening, but we are using this gradient color as a lightening property. Okay, so that's a bit of cheating with Flutter, but that's how you realize coloring or lightening in Flutter. So over here actually it's 0, and this is minus 0.75, like that, and that gives us the illusion that it's a 3D object. Once again, if you turn it off, it should be gone. Okay, yes, it should be gone, and it's at the middle. Okay, so when the lightning comes from here, it looks like it's a real 3D object. From the middle, it doesn't really look like it. Does a little bit. So with alignment position, you can give it a better look. So you can play around this value as long as you are happy. So this 3D look is happening because of two major factors. One is this radial gradient, okay, and this alignment, but this alignment is actually virtual lighting. Okay, because of this alignment, it looks like there's lightening over here, and this alignment at the same time has to do with this color, which is spreading from gray to black. With this alignment, we can put the this gray spreading little top of this circle. Okay, so these few factors are causing it to be a 3D look. Okay, next we'll create a shadow of this ball over here down there. So let's go ahead and take a look. For the shadow, now see over here we have this shadow sphere. So what we'll do, first we'll turn it off. Okay, and now we'll turn it on. Okay, all right, now with this, let's see. Now let's run it and see the result. What happens, what kind of shadow sphere we see. Now it looks like a squeezed circle over here. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. Okay, now of course here's this black thing, black colors. So this is directly the black color being rendered over here, and box shape is circle. But now here, as you see, there is this transform thing. So what we could do, we can turn off this transform. Let's do it, and just to return this container. Okay, return this container. So what we'll do, we'll turn it off. Okay, now we're returning this container, and now let's take a look. Okay, so with this container, just with this container, we have this another circle actually. So this two sphere, this one and this one, they don't have a lot of difference though. But what we could do now, we can turn on this shadow. Okay, let's go ahead and turn in this shadow. Okay, and turn off this color. So now let's see. Okay, now it become more like shadow, but this shadow, the position is wrong. Okay, so this position, you know, it's like 2D flat. So this is X and this is Y, but we want to rotate it on X direction. Okay, X direction, so it becomes or you can think like we need to rotate it a little bit over or around 90 degree. Okay, so this rotation is done through this transfer function. Okay, so it's this transform widget. So that's why we need, earlier we needed this transform widget. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and turn it on. So now over here, now let's take a look. Okay, now let's run it. Okay, now you see it's a little tilted. Okay, it's a little tilted because of this angle over here, because we are dividing this pi by 2, so it's creating an angle. I guess it's little like little less or little over 90 degree angle. Okay, all right, so that's why. And another thing is that now we want to run these two classes or functions together. Now let's see the end result. Okay, now perfect. So this is our light, this is our ball over here, and this is the light source, and this is the shadow. So it looks like this light, this ball has a shadow over here. So that's the main thing about this 3D shape. So once again, all because happening due to this box shadow and this matrix transform, okay, and at the same time this radial gradient. So next we'll see how to draw another circle over here, and the circle should have indentation. Okay, looks like it's curved out from this 3D ball. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at that one. Well, this is the result we want to achieve right now. So there's this part which is, you see, curved out, and there's also this triangle and the text in the middle. So this is what we want to achieve next. To do that, we have to put a new part of code over here. Well, as you can see, this code or indentation would be part of this sphere density, not the shadow sphere. So you got to know that. So now we have to draw a child or a widget within this one, and then we'll decorate it so that it will have a shadow. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. So the first thing we could do, we could create a new class over here, dirt file, and we'll call it the curved.dart. Okay, and we'll create a stateless widget over stateless class over here, and we'll call it the curved. Okay, and let's import some of the extra libraries that we needed, and over here this is not really needed, so let's put a question mark over here. And now for this one, actually what we could do, we can copy part of the code from this one over here. So just let's go ahead and copy this code and copy paste over here. Let's do it. And let's see what else. So we don't need this keyword though, and we also don't need any of this. Let's see, for now we can comment it out. We might be able to, we might need it in future. Okay, now this class is ready, which is decarved, and this one would be calling from class over here. So let's go ahead and create a child property over here. So we'll call child, and we'll pass here the curved. Okay, and now, but of course a sphere object itself, the sphere density, this class, which is this one, only takes 2 parameters in default. So we are passing a new child over here, or a new widget. So let's go ahead and create a variable for this. We'll call it final widget, and we'll call it child, and of course you need to update it over here. So we'll call it required this dot child, and it should do the job. And over here, down here within this container, we'll draw the new passed child from over here, which is this one. So we'll, because container can take a child, we'll call it this dot child. Okay, which is, so let's see, this one, right? Okay, I think we need to call it through widget. Let's do it. Okay, perfect, because this is a stateful class, so that's why you need to call it as this widget dot child. Okay, now this is great. Now let's go ahead and take a look over here. So now the error has gone, and what we could do, we can go ahead and start it, restart the application, and our phone is over here. Well, now of course it's another Radial part which we see over here, the lightning, but this is not what we want. So the few other things we need to do, change the color of this lightning over here, so which is this one. So instead of passing this kind of solid gray, so let's change the color a little bit. We'll call it a different kind of gray. So 6 is for transparency, so we are not doing complete transparent. Now let's save it and see. Now it changed a bit of the color, and of course there are other problems right now over here. So what we could do, we can pass it as over here, the light source, pass it as a child to decarved, but obviously this decarved, this class doesn't have a parameter that it takes. So what do we do, we'll create a, all right, now over here we need to initialize it. Okay, now we are good, and once we do that, we would be able to use it down over here. Okay, now the arrow should be gone. Let's save it. It looks like we don't have any change, even though we have this new variable over a new class or new widget over here. That's because of this decurve is taking all of this sphere density. So what we want to do, we want to scale it down, and we can scale it down through a widget. Okay, so that widget is called transform widget. So we'll wrap it around another widget, and we'll call it transform. And transform widget itself takes some property. The first one is a transform, and it tells you how you want to transform it. So we'll take matrix for class over here and take the function identity, and from that we'll call another function which is called scale, and we'll scale down to 0.5 because until now this decurve is taking the whole area, so we don't want it to take the whole area. Okay, now let's save it and see the result. Of course, now you see they're displaced. Okay, because that is displaced because the origin of this curve, this circle, is not aligned with this one. So remember, the origin of this is over here, center, so you want to put it down to center, and we can do it easily. We'll pass this one and offset 0. Okay, so we are passing it 0 0. Okay, so now let's save it and see the result. Okay, perfect. So now we can see something like this. So let me walk you through again. So within sphere density, we are passing another widget. This widget should be responsible for drawing this one. We are transforming it, because if we don't transform it, it'll take the whole widget. For example, we can change over here like say 70%. Now it's much bigger, right? We don't want that big, we just want 50% of the size. Okay, and the light source is also working. And then now what else we want to do? So you see, we want to achieve this kind of effect. There would be a little bit of shadow, okay, and then light again. That's what we want to achieve. So to achieve to achieve the result, the first thing we want to do, we want to create a variable here, inside the build method. We'll call it final, and say we'll multiply it 0.1, and I'll tell you what I'm doing it and why I'm doing it a little later. And over here we want to create another property. There is another property that we can use, which is called stops, and it takes different type of values, a list of values, but for now we are doing this one, and then 1. Okay, and now let's I guess we can run it and see the result. Okay, now let's change this one to say 3 and see the result. So what we did now, anyway, put it back to 1 and let me explain to you what happens here. Okay, so now right now over here the color is spreading uniformly, so there isn't really a good shadow because of this curve over here. I mean, we can't produce a shadow from here. That's because the color from here, as you can see, this gray color to black, is spreading uniformly, slowly, but that's what we don't want. We want to suddenly stop here, and then there's a slight little bit of the shadow. That's what we want to do. So we want to stop the spreading suddenly, and that's why there is this property which is called stops. Okay, now if you have two colors in your radial gradient, then you should have two stops variable. In our case, this is the first one and this is the last one. Okay, or this is the final one. Okay, it's up to you that how many stops you want. If you want to create different kind of shadows and different shadows with different values, then you'll have more stops value over here. Okay, so this is what we are doing. So now let's go ahead and run it, and hopefully it should make sense. Now you can change it to 2. Maybe the shadow is a bit bigger or better, but now I'll go with 0.1 and I'm happy with this. Okay, so now, like, because of the light coming down from here, it looks like there is a shadow over here, a little bit of the shadow. Okay, the next we want to do is draw the triangle over here, this triangle we saw early. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. To do that, now the triangle would be part of this decurved, this widget or this class over here, right? But now, as you see, decurved is being passed from here. So what we could do, we can pass a child from here. Okay, let's go ahead and do it, and we'll call it triangle. Okay, triangle, this class, and we'll pass a text over here, and you'll call it the triangle. So the triangle. Okay, this one. But of course, where is this class coming from? Because if you downloaded the code from the GitHub, there should be a class, which is this one. I'm sorry though, there is a typo over here. There is one more A, but forgive that spelling error. So this is the class there. So now we are using this class. Okay, yeah, if you didn't have this one, you can go ahead and auto import it, but now it's complaining for an error because decurve does only takes one parameter. Now we are passing the second one, so let's go ahead and change it. So now over here we'll call final widget, and we'll call it child, and now over here we'll add it required this dot child. Okay, now what we need to do, pass this child within this container, accept it over here in child this dot child. Okay, now let's save it, and we see the triangle over here. Perfect. So that's what we are trying to do. But now how is this triangle, and who is building this triangle? Let's take a quick look at the code over here. Okay, so this is the triangular code. All right, so now we are using because we want to draw the triangle customly or on our own, not really through a plugin or a widget. So we want to do a custom paint, so that's why we are calling custom paint this one. And from here, as you see, we have another container, and this container is for holding the text itself. And now it takes a painter. Painter is actually the triangle, or the thing you want to draw and how you want to draw it. You tell everything to this property, but of course we need to create something for this property, or we need to tell this property what to draw and how to draw. So it could be anything you want to draw, and this class is below down there. Okay, now this is over here, we are creating once again a gradient color. In our case, this is linear gradient. As you can see, the color is light blue here, over it's a deep blue, and this is the color over here. So it's a combination. And after that, we created a painter object from paint class. Okay, and we created a shader, and shader most of the time you create because when you want to draw something on your own, or customize something, or customize the drawing, and in that case you need shader. Okay. Now take a look at this path function and this path variable, and this is the actual one which is drawing this beautiful triangle over here, and it all starts with dot operator. This means double dot means path dot move to. Now where it moves to this position. Okay, now you have to know one thing, path in general starts from center. In our case, the center of the circle is 0 0 over here, and it tells you move the x position. This is the x position in our case. So width multiplied by 0.2. So from over here, 0.2 width multiplied. So this position is this one, and then the height property 0.8 multiplied by 0.3. So it's over here. Okay, so all it's telling you that, so you should start from here, this position, and 1/3 of the whole width. So this is the whole width, and 1/3 of the width is this one. So altogether x and y is this one. Okay, so this is x and this is y. All right, so it starts from here, and now the second one, it tells you that move n to this position. Okay, so from this triangle we know that 0.8 width is this one, and the height doesn't change. So it tells you that start from here and finish it here. So what is this one? So this is actually, these are called control points for quadratic bezier. Okay, so this control point 0.5, which is width, so right in the middle, and height is 0.1, so somewhere here. So for bezier we need 3 points every time. So this is the first one, starting point, and we finish it this one, and this is the control point. So when we have 3 points like this, then it creates a curve like this based on this control point. So as it tries to go to the control point, as it tries to go to the last position, it takes a reference from the control point, which is this one. So at the end it becomes a curve like this. Okay, so after first function, our path ends over here, and which is also the starting point for second function. Okay, so for second function, this is the starting point, and where it's telling to end, it's telling to end over here. So where is this place? This place is right over here, because you see we take the 50% of the width, which is this one right in the middle, and it's telling you that take the height little over 80%. So this is the whole curve, the triangle, the complete width is this one. So this position of the height from here to here, it's a little over 80%. So it's telling you finish here. And what is our control point? This is our control point, and control point is telling you your X position should be a little over 80%, which is, so this is the height, right? Okay, so little over 80% is somewhere here, actually somewhere here. And now the height is little over 50%, so over here. So right now this control point is, I guess, somewhere over here. Okay, so now the starting point is this, finishing point is this, and the control point is over here. So once again, it starts from here, reaches there, and because our control point is here, it draws a triangle like this. Okay, so we can verify it like this. So turn off the last one and see the result. Okay, so it should be gone. So now first it draws from here to here and covers the whole the path over here, and then from here to here and covers everything between this drawn path. Okay, and this is the last one. So when this is drawn, it creates a shape like this. Okay, hopefully it makes sense. Okay, so and after that we just draw the path based on the path and the painter. Okay, and painter is our shader, and shader is created from this gradient color. Okay, anyway, so next we'll see how to move this triangle around. When you click it, the triangle would move or jump like that. Okay, so if you like the video, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to smash that like button. See you soon.